Are you looking for Dead Matter to get excited about? In today's video, we'll talk about exciting game details, features, and items, so let's get right to it. And if you don't mind, through the intro, answer the poll on your screen for me.
Player 2 has entered the game.
Hello survivors, this will be the second video in this series, and this one will actually contain some brand new information, so I'll start with that. It's about Duke Cartilage. He's an NPC being worked on by Regicidal Nut. Ha! Got the dev's name correct this time.
What you want, a cookie?
But I'd mentioned in the last Dead Matter exciting video that it'd be cool if we had some Fallout-esque NPC that's like 3Dog from Fallout 3 who plays music and informs you and stuff like that. And well, to our luck, Reggie stated in an interview done a few days ago with Mr. Atomic Duck that old Duke will probably be the most prominent NPC in the game. Once you first get a radio, he'll be the first thing that you hear. His objective is to keep survivors in the know, whether it's events in the world, which Reggie didn't really want to get into that much, but he did say Duke will inform you of inclement weather as well, like if there's going to be a whiteout, heat wave, heavy rain, and stuff like that. I'm sure we're going to find out much more about old Duke here in the next couple devlogs. And if you are trying to stay caught up with brand new Dead Matter news, updates, and leaks, my channel is specifically geared towards that, so consider subscribing if that floats your goat. So next, I need to talk about base building or base claiming. There is so much detail being put into this feature, and I truly believe that it'll be a massively utilized asset in Dead Matter. Not to mention, you may not have even heard of all the stuff that's going into it yet. So first, and maybe most importantly, they have restrictions. Now, rarely in games are restrictions a good thing, but in Dead Matter, you'll be restricted from creating random Rust, Fallout 76, Fort 90 style bases, which is a huge plus for realism and just overall immersion into the map. Instead of players being able to build unbelievably giant phallus fortresses, we'll be claiming existing buildings and transforming them into well-defended fortifications. Now, there will still be prefab structures of which players can build and use for temporary shelter and add on to existing building plots, and we also already know that you can have greenhouses added on to grow plants with so you can eat and keep your hunger low. Players will be able to claim one building each. This could range from Ranger's Tower in the forest to cabins, homes in the suburbs of Calgary. Each different location will come with their own common sense, advantages, and disadvantages. Once you've actually claimed your base, there's a number of things that you can do to customize it to your liking, and some of these are awesome. I mean, we're talking different shelving and storage for your loot and gear, refrigerators and coolers to store food in so that it doesn't spoil, light sources to see your way around at night that are including but not limited to industrial lighting, gas-lit lanterns, lights that are already in the building that can be powered by generators that require fuel, and fireplaces that not only can be used as a light source but to cook food on as well. IBCs and water barrels that can hold enormous amounts of water to make sure that you never go thirsty, an oven, a stovetop for cooking, and even a workbench, as well as an electric workbench, which I came across doing research for this video, which I would presume is used for crafting various items of different sorts. We don't really have a whole lot of info on them, so I can't really go too much into them, but I'm sure we'll hear more about them in future devlogs. And while we're on the topic of all these goodies that are going in your base, how do you protect it? Well, you can lock doors with a key, you can use barricades like concrete roadwork barriers, board up windows like shown here, put sheets or newspapers over the windows so zombies or other intruders can't see you, or just simply close the blinds when applicable. You'll also be able to create traps to keep stored items safe from intruders. As a quick side note, Dead Matter will also feature lockpicking, so your base can be entered even when locked, but you'll eventually be able to upgrade your lock to be unpickable. Not to mention, aside from lockpicking, your base will be nearly impossible to break into without making some amount of noise. The better fortified the base, the more time it'll take and more noise you'll make to enter. What am I, Dr. Seuss? Which can lead to larger crowds of zombies you'll attract. This would obviously be dependent on where your base is located too. Now, typically this stuff doesn't really matter, but the devs have stated that gameplay will actually be a bit more intense than in other open-world survival games. Typically, you only worry about other players in PvP, and zombies or other creatures are just a minor nuisance. Not in Dead Matter. They want heavy focus on zombies and other PvE-oriented dangers so that events like breaking into another player's base become much less trivial, instead becoming a rather risky endeavor. However, if you are not one of those players who likes to be tied down, they also have the Nomad style of gameplay, well thought out through tents, campers to attach to your vehicle, and even straight up RVs. It's obvious that Dead Matter will have quite diverse options for different styles of gameplay, which brings up a good question. What type of base will you operate out of? Let me know in the poll on your screen now. Oh, and before I get into my absolute favorite part of my Dead Matter videos, if you'd like to see gameplay of the game before buying, just to check it out first, I'll be streaming the very first gameplay of Dead Matter from my Twitch I created recently. This will actually be my very first stream, so you can follow now to get notified when it goes live. Link will be in the description below. And now, for the Dead Matter Bright Idea of the Day, which, for those of you who don't know, is where I choose a comment of a recommendation for Dead Matter from a prior video of mine. Today's is from Elliot Drapeau, I hope I'm saying that right. He basically says, imagine being at a ranch, you see horses, and you have the ability to ride one, and also would have to take care of it. I actually think if they can do that without it causing any mechanical problems, it would be a great idea. But with the caveat of having to feed it, keeping it hydrated, and obviously keep it from being eaten by zombies, it could be a really interesting game mechanic, so good job, Drapeau. And if you enjoy this style of Dead Matter content, I can honestly recommend checking out my guy Pathfinder Plays. He has a series on Dead Matter where he reads off Dead Matter questions and answers that you may not have even known you had till watching. I'll leave a link to the series in my description and on your screen right now.